Scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with 3 ways to use these chipboard stars from the Cocoa Daisy Winter Twilight collection. So I'm going to do 3 ways. The first one is easier than the other 2, but let's check it out. So I printed out the printable paper that comes when you're a Cocoa Daisy subscriber on acetate, and now I'm just adhering these stars in a vertical row down the middle of the acetate, and I'm going to adhere them front and back. And this is just going to create a simple divider for my December daily, which eventually someday I will start. I decided I didn't like the light star with the middle light star, so I decided to put it on the back because on the back the middle star is nice and dark, so I'm going to put the 2 lighter stars with the darker star. And you know that I hate transparent pages that you can see the back of, so that solved that problem. So the second way I'm going to use these chipboard stars is I'm actually going to use the packaging from the chipboard stars, and I'm going to use them as a stencil. Now I could have left the packaging altogether, but it wasn't really designed to be a stencil, so it wasn't very conducive, like the pattern on it was not conducive to a pretty pattern here, so I decided to cut them up, and I'm using my, I think it's Windy Vecchi magnetic mat here to hold down these stencils, and some Nuvo glacier paste in silver to use through the stencil to create some texture with this for this page, I should say. So the glacier paste is sort of thin compared to texture paste, so it does take a bit of effort to make sure that all the pieces are filled in, and of course it's going to leave a lot of texture because it's very, it's almost like whipped cream cheese. It's very whipped, so it leaves a lot of texture behind as well. So you just want to make sure that you use your knife, your palette knife, away from the edges of the star so that the glacier paste doesn't go underneath the edges of your stencil, and then of course keep it away from the outside edges of the stencil because you don't want it going off the edge on the outside either. So you can see I've got this way sped up, but I'm going through and I'm doing each star individually and placing it where I want to place it. I really like the play of the silver glacier paste with the blue and also the gold stars that are printed on the blue paper, because I think that the majority of the Winter Twilight collection is actually blue and silver and white, and so I decided I wanted to go with that color scheme just to make sure that it matches anything I decide to pair it with fairly easily. So this is the last star, and then I'm going to add in some of the sequins from the Winter Twilight collection as well, and I'm going to apply them directly into the glacier paste in places so that they are adhered via the glacier paste, and then I'm going to use my glue as well to place some outside of the glacier paste stars. Now I do get a little bit overzealous and end up putting too many sequins in, and so you'll see at the end I ended up pulling some off, and yeah. So the third way I'm going to use the chipboard stars is I'm going to create a divider page with this page that I cut out with my silhouette on glitter cardstock. And it's kind of hard to see on video because this glitter cardstock is really hard to photograph and video in a way that you can see that it is glittery. Then I took some acetate and I just backed the circles with the acetate so that I create a barrier between the background and the foreground, because I'm going to put sequins in these pockets with the stars. So I left 5 circles open so that I can put individual photos. I'm hoping individual photos of my family in each of those 5 spots. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just scared myself and thought I didn't have 5 spots. And then initially I was going to just pop this up and create some dimension with foam tape, but then I decided to add in the sequins as well. So I'm just going to put, in this part, I'm just going to put foam tape squares in the corners and in between all of the circles. And of course that messes me up later on down the line when I decide that I want to add sequins. but it is what it is. So I'm just going to align this up so that I can put these stars in the right place. And the first couple are the hardest to align correctly because you don't have anything else to go off of besides the circles. So now that I've got a couple down, it's a little bit easier. So I'm just going to adhere these to the background. And then I'm going to create a sequin shaker pocket actually on the glitter cardstock and circle page. And you'll see how I do that in just a second as soon as I get these all put down. I forgot to take the backing off of this blue one, so I gotta redo that. And I forgot to take the backing off of the December Stories one, so neither of them stuck. I made sure to use both patterned stars and word stars. Okay, so here's a little hack. I have this foam tape that I needed to cut, but if you try and cut foam tape with your stickers, or with your scissors, it is going to stick to your scissors. So stick it on some release paper or some wax paper like I did, and then you can cut through it and it won't stick to your scissors. Yay! So you can see how I outlined this. I decided not to do individual circles, just rows. I thought that that would be fine. Try not to get your sequins in your tape. I pulled all the tape off before I put the sequins in because pulling the tape off and keeping the sequins in the boxes would be really hard. I used the sequins from the kit, and then I added in some silver star sequins as well that I bought for my December daily. Then I'm just going to stick down the background paper and I'll shake it around to make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to, and I'm not missing any, I don't have any holes where it's not stuck down. You can see that this paper isn't quite as wide as the insert I made, so I'm just going to use some scrap paper to back that little part that isn't completely closed. Then I'll trim it down, make sure everything is stuck, shake it around. Cute. I love the way that this page came out. I'm going to actually put my photos on top and slightly larger than the circles so that they make a little bit more of an impact, but I don't do that in this video because I'm not ready to start December Daily yet. Is anybody going to be interested in December Daily after the fact? Because I'm thinking that's the way it's going to go at this point. So I'm just trimming off the excess paper, and then I will show you all of the ways in which I used the chipboard stars. So here's this one. Then we've also got, hello? There they are, the divider and the stencils. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed, and I will see you next time. All right, thank you.